Ben in Wembley, good evening.
Good evening.
How can I help you?
I have a problem with my GP surgery.
Don't we all, Ben?
Sorry?
Don't we all?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. A few years back, there was a possibility for me to opt out of my medical data being spread across England and London, especially hospitals and whatever centers. I opted out. I said only in my surgery you can keep my data. But I recently discovered that they are actually everywhere. I went to A&E because of some breathing problems, and after the doctor gave me some pills and so on, he said, but how is this condition? I said, what condition? And then they said this, and how is that? I said, that shouldn't be there. But they said, it's there. So basically they tricked me, they lied to me. And I want to know what I can do legally to make them respect what we agreed and to compensate me for the breach of data.
Okay. You say they tricked you and lied to you. Is it possibly more likely that this is just a mistake and inefficiency?
I don't think so.
You think the GPs got together, rubbed their hands with glee, and said, "Let's send Ben's details to the A&E department"?
Oh yes, they gave me a proof some few years back, stamped by them that I opted out. But they don't respect patients at all. Okay. The other day I went there. I was supposed to be called by the doctor. They didn't call. They didn't call. I waited all day for their call.
You sat all day in the waiting room, literally all day?
Well, they said they would call me at home. I was waiting for them to call me at home. All day, nothing. And next day I came, what happened? They don't know.
This sounds very suspicious. Couldn't possibly be a mistake, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not a mistake.
No, it's clearly something going on here. Do you think it's more than... do you think it's just the GP or are other people in Wembley in it as well?
It's an kind of group of GPs. It's not only one.
It's a global GP?
It's a group. It's a surgery that has more than one GP. So okay. I don't know who did it, other staff and so on. So,
back to your question. The GP shared your medical records with the local NHS hospital, even though
they spread it around. I went to A&E in London, further down, and they started asking me questions that I never gave them information about my other conditions, which I had.
Your GP knew about your other conditions, and somehow
my surgery knows about everything.
And somehow the A&E department found out about it. Therefore,
yes,
we are inferring.
Never.
We are inferring the GP told the A&E department.
Well, yeah, that's the assumption.
Yes, and your objection to that is that you have expressly opted out of data sharing by the GP.
When they signed it, I have a stamp from that surgery. They say, yes, you opted out. We'll keep it only in this surgery. Said thank you. Okay. And I have it in writing in my drawer here.
Okay. There are two types of opting out. You can opt out for data for research and planning. It's called a Type 1 opt-out. And you can opt out from your data being given to anybody, including local hospitals.
I opted out of everything.
You're absolutely confident about that?
Absolutely confident.
Okay, fine. In which case, yes, there's been a breach of data protection. The difficulty is that when a GP shares information with a hospital, under the GDPR, they've got to have a valid reason for sharing data, and consent is normally the reason. So opting out negates consent. But with health information, the NHS England's guidelines say that information can be shared despite a patient opting out if there's an overriding public interest. Now, was the information they shared something really important about you, like a severe allergy to a particular treatment?
More than that.
It was particularly important to your health?
Oh, it is, yeah. And the other thing is, this was in A&E. It was not in any hospital.
Well, A&E is in a hospital, isn't it?
Well, it's A&E. You come there when there's something urgent.
Yes, yeah? But it's all part of the NHS Trust.
Yeah, it is, yes.
Okay, I think if this is something that's life-critical information about you, I don't think there's a breach of data protection here, because the NHS guidelines.
It's not life critical. No, this is a chronic condition that I deal with, and I am on top of it.
Okay. Is the data they shared something that, if not known by the A&E department, could have risked your health seriously?
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't. Okay, I thought you said a moment ago it would have done.
No. The condition is serious, but it's not life-threatening. It can be serious, but I'm controlling it completely.
I understand. Okay. In which case, yes, maybe there is a breach there, but the compensation, Ben, I'm afraid, is going to be very limited. We're talking, well, we're not talking pennies, but we're talking £100 at most, because you've suffered no loss here. If anything, you've actually gained, because the A&E department is more informed than it otherwise would have been and has been able to treat you well. So it's a nominal loss only, and a small claims judge would award you a few pounds, £50, £100, that sort of level. Frankly, Ben, I wouldn't pursue it. I'm not sure there's a major nationwide conspiracy here, but yeah, I suspect I'm not going to be able to persuade you of that. I wish you well, Ben. I wish you good health, but legally, this isn't going to make you a millionaire.